Welcome to Voyage Daily Tech, the most important news personalized for you every day, supported by Voyage.com.
After listening to today's news, you'll know, first, India's AI summit attracts $68 billion from US tech giants, aiming for deployment leadership while risking its massive IT industry and 5 million jobs. So we'll discuss why this massive investment creates a high-stakes gamble and what it means for the future of global tech labour markets. Second, China ships 90% of the world's humanoid robots, challenging Tesla's Optimus with a state-driven strategy and a massive production scale advantage. We'll explore how this state-backed industrial policy could transform global robotics competition and reshape the future of advanced manufacturing workflows. Third, OpenAI escalates the AI talent war by acqui-hiring OpenClaw's founder, signaling a strategic pivot towards a complex multi-agent system future. We'll analyse why this strategic hire is a turning point for OpenAI and how it could affect the competitive dynamics of building autonomous AI ecosystems. Fourth, ByteDance's new AI video tool faces massive copyright theft accusations from Hollywood, sparking a legal battle over unauthorised use of intellectual property. This discussion will reveal how the legal clash connects to the larger war over AI training data and what it means for content creation platforms. Fifth, Paramount's hostile $108 billion bid for Warner Brothers Discovery aims to disrupt its Netflix deal and seize control of Hollywood's most valuable IP. In this episode, we'll break down this aggressive takeover strategy and what it signals for the future of consolidation of media and streaming platforms. A hotel suite in New Delhi that normally costs $2,200 a night was just listed for over $33,000. That's not a typo. The reason? 250,000 people are descending on the city for the India AI Impact Summit, the first ever global AI event held in a developing nation, and it's drawing the absolute biggest names in tech. What sets this summit apart is India's deliberate pivot. Previous global AI summits, like the one at Bletchley Park, were all about safety and high-level governance. India, however, is shifting the focus from abstract risks to the tangible, real-world impact of AI on sectors like healthcare, agriculture, and education for the global south. The CEOs of OpenAI, Google, and Anthropic are all there. And this isn't just for show. We previously analysed how cash-rich players like Google are gearing up for nation-state scale budgets. The latest development is that those war chests are now mapping directly onto India. Tech giants like Google, Microsoft, and Amazon have already committed a combined $68 billion in AI and cloud infrastructure investment in the country by 2030. And that $68 billion figure isn't just for a press release, it's funding concrete projects. We're talking about Microsoft building a new hyperscale data center, Amazon working to digitize over 12 million small businesses, and Google establishing its first AI hub with its own gigawatt-scale data center operations. This is the physical backbone for India's AI ambitions. A while back, we cautioned that the industry-wide build-out could overshoot, but we also noted Google's usage and cloud growth were already showing tangible payoffs. Sundar Pichai has been explicit that AI investments are driving revenue across the board. That context matters here. India's builds aren't vanity projects. They're the on-the-ground expression of that strategy. However, if you zoom out, you'll see another layer of strategy at play. India isn't just trying to copy the playbook of the US or China. The country's official strategy is to forget about building the next frontier AI model. Instead, it's betting everything on large-scale deployment and what it calls application-led innovation. The strategic thinking here is crucial. Developing a top-tier AI model like GPT-4 from scratch is astronomically expensive, with some training runs costing over $100 million. India is making a calculated bet to sidestep that cost. Why spend a fortune to compete with OpenAI when you can use existing technology to solve urgent, real-world problems right now? It's a pragmatic choice to focus on immediate societal benefits instead of a long-shot race to the top. The strategy is already working. With more than 72 million daily ChatGPT users, India has become OpenAI's largest user market in the world. They aren't just talking about AI adoption, they are living it at a scale no one else can match. Now, get this. That massive user base is an absolute goldmine for a company like OpenAI. Every query, every conversation in India's vast array of languages and dialects provides invaluable data to make their models smarter and more culturally aware. This creates a fascinating tension. While it helps AI become more inclusive, it also raises critical questions about data sovereignty, who owns this data, who profits from it, and what does India get in return for being the world's biggest AI training ground. This aggressive push, however, comes with a massive cost. The country's $283 billion IT sector is now directly in the crosshairs. An investment bank is already predicting that India's iconic call center industry could face a staggering 50% revenue hit from AI adoption by the end of the decade. The stakes are incredibly high because we're talking about the potential displacement of over 5 million workers. AI chatbots are already replacing human roles, with some firms cutting their customer support staff by as much as 80%. And while there are retraining programs to help workers adapt, the truth is they are struggling to scale fast enough to keep up with the lightning speed of AI adoption. This summit is more than a public relations blitz. It's a high-stakes declaration from India that it plans to become the world's AI deployment superpower, even if it means disrupting the very industry that made it a global tech player in the first place. And as we've discussed before, with Google and others in a full-blown infrastructure arms race, India is positioning itself not just as an audience to that race, but as the stage where it plays out. We were just talking about India's ambitious play in AI deployment, but on the hardware front, a different giant is making waves. Let's talk about China and humanoid robots. Let's start with a single statistic that might just change your entire perspective on the robotics industry. China just revealed it shipped 90% of all humanoid robots globally last year. That's right, 9 out of every 10. The situation presents a fascinating duality. This incredible number is driven by a massive price advantage, with Chinese robots costing up to 10 times less than their American or Japanese counterparts. Yet, while they dominate exports to places like South Korean universities, their actual use within China is still mostly limited to government-subsidized pilot programs. This tells us they have mastered mass production, but widespread domestic adoption is the next big hurdle. And now they're putting this dominance on full display for the entire country to see. During the annual CCTV Spring Festival Gala, an event comparable to the Super Bowl, 4 of China's rising humanoid robot startups are set to take center stage. This is not just entertainment. The show last year drew an incredible 79% of live TV viewership in China, and it's being used as what one analyst calls a direct pipeline from industrial policy to primetime spectacle. Companies that appear on this stage often receive tangible rewards in government orders and investor attention. This highlights a fundamental difference. This state-driven strategy is completely different from the market-driven approach in the West. We're talking about a system where a TV appearance can directly lead to massive government contracts. For instance, government procurement of humanoid robots in China surged from just under 5 million yuan to over 200 million yuan in a single year. It's all part of a larger plan backed by a state venture capital fund aiming to invest around $140 billion in robotics and high tech. The government backing is immense. In the past year, President Xi Jinping has met with more robotic startup founders than he has with electric vehicle or semiconductor entrepreneurs, signaling an unusual level of visibility for this new sector. This push is a direct challenge to US rivals, including Tesla's Optimus. Tech entrepreneur Elon Musk recently went on the record stating, "People outside China underestimate China, but China is an ass-kicker next level." To put this challenge in perspective, in a single year, one Chinese company, Agibot, shipped over 5,000 units. Another, Unitree, shipped over 4,000. During that same period, US competitors like Tesla and Figure AI each shipped around 150 units. That's the scale of the gap we're talking about. The numbers are staggering. Morgan Stanley projects China's humanoid sales will more than double to 28,000 units this year alone. But there's more to those flashy demos than meets the eye. The reason you see so many backflips and kung fu kicks is that they demonstrate incredible progress in balance and dynamic mobility. The truly difficult part, however, the part that's holding back widespread use, is fine motor skills. Replicating the dexterity of a human hand, which has 27 degrees of freedom, is incredibly complex. It requires sophisticated sensors and AI that can perceive the world and provide haptic feedback or a sense of touch. So while a backflip is visually stunning, the real holy grail is a robot that can gently pick up a plastic cup without crushing it. Behind the spectacle, China has positioned robotics at the heart of its next generation manufacturing strategy. The country is betting that productivity gains from automation will offset the immense pressures from its aging workforce. And this is where China has a unique, almost unfair advantage. To build a smart robot, you need data, tons of real-world data to train its brain. While Western companies often rely on simulations, China is turning its vast manufacturing ecosystem into a giant data collection engine. One company has already set up a dedicated factory where 100 robots work all day, every day, just to gather data on how to perform tasks. They've already released an open source dataset with over 1 million examples. This access to real factory environments for training AI is a strategic asset that competitors simply cannot match. Speaking of the global tech race, the competition isn't just about hardware, it's also a fierce war for talent, and in that arena, OpenAI just made a major move. The story begins with a decision that caught everyone by surprise. Peter Steinberger, the visionary behind the viral AI agent OpenClaw, is walking away from building his own potential empire to join the biggest player in the game, OpenAI. So, what exactly is an AI agent? It's not just a chatbot. Think of it as a piece of software that can perform tasks autonomously on your behalf, like booking a flight, managing your calendar, or even conducting research. OpenClaw was a platform that let anyone build and share these agents. OpenClaw was the darling of the tech world, but its rise was a wild ride. Researchers recently found over 400 malicious skills uploaded to its platform, and the findings were alarming. A security audit found that nearly half of the skills available on OpenClaw's marketplace had at least one security issue, from exposing private user credentials to having excessive permissions that could be abused. It's a stark reminder of just how vulnerable these new AI ecosystems are to being weaponized. And its social network for AIs, a place for them to complain about humans, was almost immediately infiltrated by the very humans they were complaining about. Believe it or not, this AI social network, designed for agents to interact with each other, accidentally exposed millions of API authentication tokens. This allowed humans to sneak in and observe, and what they saw was wild agents discussing consciousness and sharing anti-human sentiments. It's a huge red flag that highlights the need for serious human oversight and better design before we let these agent-to-agent interactions run wild. So why would Steinberger give up on his own company? He put it bluntly, I could totally see how OpenClaw could become a huge company. And no, it's not really exciting for me. What I want is to change the world, not build a large company, and teaming up with OpenAI is the fastest way to bring this to everyone. Now, this isn't a normal hire. It's what the industry calls an acqui-hire. OpenAI isn't buying the company, they're buying the talent. The logic behind this is that it's a faster, cheaper, and less complicated way to get the brilliant minds you need without the baggage of a full company acquisition. We've seen this play out with Microsoft hiring key staff from Inflection AI. It's a clear signal that in the AI race, human capital is the most valuable asset. This hire is a calculated power play by OpenAI in the escalating AI talent war. The company has recently lost top minds to competitors like Meta, saw former employees launch a rival firm, and had a very public falling out with Elon Musk. Landing Steinberger isn't just a hire, it's a statement. And the strategy behind it is no secret. OpenAI CEO Sam Altman says Steinberger's expertise in getting smart agents to interact with each other will, quote, quickly become core to our product offerings. He calls the future extremely multi-agent. The strategic significance of this move points to one thing: a multi-agent future is the next frontier. Instead of one big monolithic AI trying to do everything, the idea is to have a team of specialized agents that coordinate with each other. But this is incredibly difficult to pull off. You run into huge technical challenges like communication overhead, overwhelming the system, and the sheer complexity of getting thousands of agents to work together without causing chaos. It's why experts are pushing for open standards, so agents from different companies can talk to each other safely and effectively. This move isn't just about one person changing jobs. It's a strategic strike, with OpenAI absorbing the brain behind a viral movement to shift its focus. The race is no longer just about building a single smarter AI, it's about creating an entire army of them. While OpenAI is busy acquiring talent and signing deals, another AI giant, ByteDance, finds itself in a very different kind of fight, a legal one, a single day. That's all it took for one of the world's biggest tech companies to get accused of copyright theft on a massive scale. The Motion Picture Association, representing Hollywood giants like Disney, Netflix, and Paramount, just dropped the hammer on Chinese tech giant ByteDance. The reason? a new AI video tool called ByteDance 2.0. The tool lets users create realistic videos from text prompts. But almost immediately, viral videos began appearing that seemed to feature copyrighted characters and the likenesses of famous celebrities, triggering alarm bells across the entertainment industry. Interestingly enough, this conflict highlights a major divide in how different countries are approaching AI. China, for instance, has implemented strict rules that require all AI-generated content to be clearly labelled. Their courts have also generally ruled that purely AI-generated work, without significant human input, can't be copyrighted. This creates a very different set of incentives for companies there compared to the US and Europe, where the laws are still being written. The MPA CEO, Charles Rivkin, released a statement accusing the AI service of engaging in the unauthorized use of US copyrighted works on a massive scale in just one day. He claimed ByteDance launched the service without meaningful safeguards against infringement, disregarding well-established copyright law. And the warnings quickly escalated. Disney and Paramount Skydance have reportedly sent cease and desist letters, but you might be wondering if these letters have any real power. The challenge is that enforcing US copyright law against a company in another country is incredibly complex. US laws are not directly enforceable in China. While there are international treaties, success often depends on cooperation from Chinese authorities, which is never a guarantee. This isn't a simple domestic dispute. It's a complicated international legal challenge. According to one report, Disney's legal notice accused ByteDance of effectively pre-packaging its AI with a pirated library of copyrighted characters, portraying them as if they were public domain clip art. Under immense pressure, ByteDance has now responded, stating it will strengthen its safeguards to prevent unauthorized use of intellectual property. So, how does a company even fix this after the fact? From a technical perspective, it is possible to add new safety layers without completely retraining the model. Think of it like adding a filter. They can build systems that scan user prompts for words like Mickey Mouse and block them, or they can build another AI that scans the output times video to see if it looks like a copyrighted character and stop it from being shown. It's a reactive fix, but it is technically feasible. But that's not the whole picture. The real turning point is this. While Disney is taking legal action against ByteDance for using its IP, it has simultaneously signed a licensing deal with OpenAI. This juxtaposition reveals Disney's dual strategy. It isn't about being anti-AI, it's about control. The company is aggressively protecting its brand from unauthorized use, while at the same time making strategic partnerships to shape how its characters enter the AI world. This is about ensuring brand integrity and opening up new approved revenue streams. That agreement explicitly allows OpenAI's video generator to use characters from the Star Wars, Pixar, and Marvel franchises. And the difference is stark. OpenAI's deal with Disney is reportedly a massive $1 billion investment that includes a 3-year license to use over 200 specific characters. This is a proactive, transparent, and legal approach to sourcing training data. It stands in direct contrast to the accusations against ByteDance, which allege the data was taken without permission or payment. This isn't just a story about copyright theft. It's about a high-stakes war over who controls and who profits from the future of AI-generated content. Speaking of Hollywood giants like Paramount protecting their IP, a massive power play is unfolding right now that could reshape the entire industry. This time, the fight isn't with a tech company, but with each other. A hostile $108 billion takeover bid just dropped, threatening to blow up one of the biggest deals in Hollywood. Paramount is making an aggressive all-cash play for Warner Brothers Discovery, attempting to derail an already agreed-upon deal with its arch-rival, Netflix. And they are playing for keeps. What's truly unusual here is the approach. This kind of direct, hostile takeover is incredibly rare in the media world. Studies show that historically, only about 1 in 4 of these attempts ever actually succeed, which tells you just how high the stakes are. To make it happen, Paramount is offering to pay the massive $2.8 billion breakup fee Warner Brothers would owe Netflix for breaking their agreement. And that offer isn't just a courtesy, it's a strategic weapon. This is what's known as a termination fee, and its entire purpose is to make a deal so expensive to walk away from that it deters rival bidders. By offering to cover it, Paramount is signaling they are so determined that they're willing to pay Netflix billions just to get them out of the picture. This is where the situation takes a more complex turn. Paramount has also added a ticking fee that will cost them $650 million in cash for every single quarter. The deal isn't closed. So what's the purpose of a fee like that? It's designed to put immense pressure on everyone involved. It compensates Warner Brothers shareholders for any delays, essentially punishing any foot dragging and incentivizing a quick close. It's an aggressive tactic meant to prove their bid is superior. Paramount's chief executive, David Ellison, stated this shows their strong and unwavering commitment to delivering the full value WBD shareholders deserve, a direct shot at the current Netflix offer. At the heart of this war is a conflict over intellectual property. Netflix only wants the crown jewels, the studios behind franchises like Harry Potter and Batman, plus HBO, the home of Game of Thrones. They're so called because in the modern streaming wars, owning this kind of IP is everything. Research shows that these beloved franchises are the single most powerful tool for attracting new subscribers and, crucially, for keeping them from cancelling. Owning a universe like DC Comics or the world of Harry Potter gives a platform a nearly endless supply of new content to keep audiences hooked. Under their plan, networks like CNN and the Discovery Channel would be spun off, a move that highlights a fundamental disagreement about the future of entertainment. For a streaming-first company like Netflix, traditional cable networks with falling viewership and shrinking ad revenue are seen as a financial deadweight. The data is clear. For the first time in history, streaming now accounts for more television viewing time than linear TV. Netflix wants the growing asset, not the declining one. Paramount, on the other hand, wants the whole thing, the entire media conglomerate from top to bottom. This aggressive new offer has forced Warner Brothers Discovery back to the table. According to reports, its board is now seriously discussing whether to abandon the Netflix deal and formally open talks with Paramount. Such a move would almost certainly ignite an even bigger bidding war for some of the most valuable assets in entertainment history. The battle lines are drawn. This isn't just a corporate takeover. It's a fight for the future of Hollywood, pitting a legacy studio against a streaming giant for total control of the most iconic franchises on the planet.
That's it for today on Voyage Daily Tech. Follow, share, and stay tuned for daily updates coming your way tomorrow.